Hey there guys, I'm Dan Whittaker. Today we're going to take a quick look at the great golf swing of world number one, Jason Day. So one of the phenomenal things that Jason does, and something that everyone could be looking to try and achieve, is I really like this little waggle he does away from before he takes the club back. So you can see how the chest starts to rotate straight away, okay, but those arms stay on the side of the chest, okay. So what this is actually rehearsing a one-piece takeaway. So from here, he then settles the golf club behind the ball, okay, and then we'll notice that as he starts that movement back, one of the first things he does is he rotates everything back together. So the triangle he started off with of the arms, the body and the club in this area here at address has been maintained. He hasn't just moved the arms, he hasn't just moved the club, he hasn't let the wrist go. This is a very much a one-piece takeaway from the golf ball. Take a look from down the line here on the left hand side of the screen, and what we'll see is a great look at this one piece move away from the ball. Okay, we can see right here the club head is still what we call outside his hands, so his club head is here while the orientation of his hands is in this area, so it is in this direction of his hand. So outside his hands means that the club is still moving with his body. Okay, what else we'll see is when we have a look at this point here, and we will see that the golf club is matching his spine position, so that means it's very much square to the arc. Okay, so we can see how they're both matching. If we take this back just a couple of frames here, we'll notice that the club is also connected back to his belly button at this area. So this means that this is everything is moving away in one piece. Body is turning, the arms, the body and the club are working back together. So for all you guys watching this, you can see that this is something you can start to apply. Also very interesting is that when we take this back to the beginning, we'll notice that straight away he allows those hips to rotate. So those hips are turning whilst that trunk is rotating. Okay, so you can start those hips to begin with, because obviously clearly Jason Day is doing it, phenomenal thing. So we keep going now as that club keeps moving towards the set position. Next thing for us to pay attention to right here is arms are very much in front of his body. This is something that I believe he does amazingly well with every club in the bag. So hands are in line with his sternum, whilst the arm is very close to being in line with his feet. So that means that everything is very much in front of his body. Okay, so as he continues to go towards the top, this is the only bit in the golf swing I think that sometimes could lead Jason to having a couple of back twinges or even getting a little bit trapped on the way down. We see that those hips stopped rotating, so they stopped rotating from this portion of the backswing here, and it was the arms that carried on to the top. Okay, so what we've got at the top is we get left arms a fraction steeper than the shoulder plane, but I think that his arms are probably pretty long relative to his height. But we will see right here that that left arm and the club face are completely lined up to one another. This is something that is fantastic. Okay, something that I was reading earlier in the season is that he is trying to make sure he gets rid of a little bit of semi-lateral slide that he has in the backswing. So what we're talking about there is that he has a tendency to sometimes move through this yellow line in the backswing with the hip. So when this is happening, he's probably not always creating as much rotational space for his arms as he could do. But when we have a look right here, I love this part of his swing. We'll notice that if we draw a straight line up from the outside of the ankle, it joins the knee, the pelvis and the top of the back. It is behind the ball because the lead shoulder here is over the front or over the inside of that right thigh. The angle we've drawn away right here, this means that he's not swayed off the golf ball with that upper body. He's actually done a phenomenal job. Okay, but he and his coach are working to getting this right hip to turn back a little bit deeper. Now, the effect of not quite turning that hip as much is seen in a moment. So what we'd see is he starts this downswing and that lower body and that core really unwind. Very slightly trapped, very, very slightly with this right elbow, but not much. Okay, he just lets that extend a little bit through impact here, but a lot of this is probably just due to the force that he is applying to the golf ball. What I mean by that is he's got so much speed that arm is going out, but he's not actually flinging it down the line. Okay, his arms are just getting away from his body a little bit more than some players would, and that's why we see quite a high extended finish right here. I do believe that if he actually rotated those hips a hair more in that backswing, there'd be a little bit more room for those arms coming in. Okay, I think that he and his coach are working at that from what I saw earlier in the season on Sky Sports when it was the match play. So we can see right here, he shifts that lower body, okay, and we will notice that his head slightly tilts to the right, okay, and it goes further to the right here with the driver. That's just probably because he's going to be hitting up so much on the ball, really to launch it as high and as hard as he can. Okay, a lot of amateurs don't want that head going to the right too much. If that head's going to the right too much, what this will do is make your path come too far from in to out. Okay, I'm not saying that this is hurting Jason at all, but for a lot of guys watching it, you don't want to see your head going in this direction because it will make your arms have to go more out to the right. Okay, we can see here though what he's doing is he's very much shifted over that left side. So you can see the initial part of this transition is that the left knee starts down and separates, creates a little bit of squat. Okay, so you get some load in those legs. Then what he's doing is the pressure will have gone into the front of this foot here. Okay, and then what we'll see is that pressure starts to work back up through his body in this direction, and that's how he's extending, and that's what's going to provide him with a lot of power. As he's pushing back up from the ground, that power is going to go up through his body, through the arms, and then into the club. And what we'll see here is so much extension, really staying behind the ball beautifully, and then just letting that club freewheel all the way around to the finish. He stays behind it beautifully, and at the end of the follow through, love the fact of how much balance he's finishing in, and the fact that his weight is fully gone into his left heel. So we can see that it doesn't go in the heel early, so it's at this point here in the downswing, is still fairly flat, and now it's exploding back into that heel, but that foot isn't jumping up across the floor, so he's really using that floor very, very well to provide a lot of leverage. Now, I've just brought this one in from Jason from down the line with the driver. What we'll see is, once again, we will notice this absolutely phenomenal one-piece takeaway. This is amazing. Love it. Keeps the pressure of the left arm against the chest during that one-piece takeaway. Then lets it separate a little bit as he sets the golf club up. As I said before, the club's an extension of his belly button. This is just fantastic for everybody watching. This is your classic modern golf swing movement one-piece takeaway from the ball. Then gets it into good position at the top. Maybe not quite loading his pelvis back with as much rotation. Golf club fully lined up at the top right here, where the club face is parallel to the arm. Okay, and then what we'll notice is that as he starts down, that club head is shallowing. Okay, so from the top we'll notice that the club head goes this way. Okay, so we see now shallowing. So now coming from in to out. Okay, slightly, he's very much pushing now from his pelvis. Okay, get lots of extension from those arms post impact here, and then very much finishing in that heel. Okay, I feel that just those arms are going a little bit further away from his body than I would like through impact. That's not meaning to say that it's not great, because he is obviously phenomenal, but we will see that because that head's gone to the right a little bit, that club is wanting to just come a little bit more in to out because of that. Okay, but obviously he's hitting up on the ball big time here, hitting a draw. It's obviously a phenomenal move. I hope you enjoyed this video and quick analysis of Jason Day. Obviously there's so many athletic things that he does in that move. We know he's trying to turn his pelvis a bit more because that's what his coach has been saying, and Jason's come out to say that. I've even read recently that he's trying to move towards a cut. It'd be interesting to see if he does that. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe to my channel. All my social media links are below. My website is danwhitakergolf.com. We've got all my contact details. Thanks for watching.